Well, I would have to start off this video apologizing for not being on for 3 months. But today I'm going to talk about the toy line Batman Legacy. And the Batman Legacy line has a lot of hits, and it has probably more so misses. The first figure that came in the Batman Legacy line was it called Modern Day Batman. Now the sculpt of the figure itself was pretty good, but the thing this is why I never purchased a figure. I only held one, but I never purchased it because the head sculpt to me was all off and it was all wrong, and it looked like angry Batman. I don't know why they chose to sculpt him as a permanent angry looking Batman. It works for the Sinestro Corps Batman, but I don't think it works for modern day Batman. The next figure that I didn't like was actually the very second figure in the line, and it was Joker. And I don't know how you can screw up a Joker, especially I don't know how you can paint his pants two different colors, because on the top of his pants he has like a light purple. At the bottom of his pants he has like a dark purple. Obviously, plus the jacket was sculpted wrong and the head was too skinny. So, obviously before Mattel released it, no one had looked at it and said, these issues were never addressed. They just said, let's get it out, let's just get it on the shelves, see how well it does. To me, as a big company like Mattel, at least they probably should have someone look at the figures before they send them all out. The third figure in Series 1 of Batman Legacy was Mr. Freeze. The Mr. Freeze figure, unfortunately, was the re-release of the DC Universe, no, not DC Universe, DC Superheroes line that was just before DC Universe. So when I first heard that they're going to release Mr. Freeze, I was all excited for Mr. Freeze until I found out that they gave him a new paint job. They repainted it in an unusual different color. Now, why didn't they just release the original Mr. Freeze is, beyond me. Because it was nicely articulated, it had a nice paint job. Sometimes fans want a figure to be re-released. They want to see that figure again. And Mattel happily grants their wish, but the thing that Mattel keeps messing up on is Mattel keeps releasing those figures in odd paint jobs. They done it before, and they probably do it again, where they will listen to what fans want, but then somehow mess it up somehow. Please don't be playing. So anyway,
just hitting the string.
The next series was Series 2 from Batman Legacy, once again Mattel. And the first figure was Batman and Batmite. I like that figure because to me the Batman looked like the early Bob Kane Batmans, because Batman back in the 50s had a somewhat a little grin on his face, and that was sculpted into the figure. And of course, if you're a classic Batman fan, then you of course would probably like Batmite. Or probably not. You decide if you're a fan of Batmite or not. I'm personally not, but as a comic book collector, I bought the set because I like Batman and how he looked from the 50s, and of course Batmite was present, sort of, so to me I like the set. Next figure in that line was the Batgirl, with more of a, I think, a classic look. It was more of a black and yellow paint scheme. And I really liked the second figure, so I finally thought to myself, the Batman Legacy line has some solid hope for the future. And there were figures that I wanted to see them do, because I wanted to see probably a Bane or a Scarecrow or a Ra's al Ghul. I was really hoping for Batman Legacy to do really good figures in the future. But I think all hopes and dreams of that was kind of crushed by the third figure in the wave. The wave would be the Catman figure. Now, there was a fan favorite selection by Mattel for DC Universe, and one time they had a choice of certain figures that you can choose, and Catman was on the list. Now, people didn't vote for Catman, so Catman wasn't made for DC Universe Classics, and why did they all of a sudden decide to make him for Batman Legacy? To me, doesn't make sense, because fans had a chance to vote for the favorite figure, and he wasn't voted for then. And I'm pretty sure fans don't necessarily would think that he's important now. So then Batman Legacy line started releasing like some Movie Masters and some Arkham City figures. Yep. And I picked up all the Movie Masters in Arkham City because to me that was a good direction that we're going. I was kind of hoping that Mattel would continue in that direction.
That was me, you got you
because they did so well on Two-Face, and then the Batman, and then they did well on the Catwoman and other figures in the Batman Legacy / Arkham City collection that Mattel was trying to do.
I mean, I would, but
next thing you know, I hear that the Batman Arkham City Mattel collection was kind of stopped, and
you can't do that because you have to be like.
It was kind of, to me, in my opinion, it was like, why did they stop? Now, the third wave of the Batman Legacy line was first appearance Batman and very early appearance Catwoman. Now, I picked both of those up because, like I said, I like the classic look of the classic comic book. Especially the first appearance Batman, to me, was really well. And this has been argued about with many fans, as some would say early Batman from the 40s would carry a gun. And I have comics where, in fact, he does carry a gun from the time period, because the time period was different, even though he didn't use it mostly. And later on, probably in the 50s, the idea of that was completely gone, and ever since then he hasn't used the gun ever since. He used his mind and other gadgets to outwit the criminals. But to me, if you're going to portray an accurate way of the comic book of the time period, I think it would have been a good idea to include with the first appearance Batman figure a little gun, because that's the way it was. Especially, at least in the 40s. In the 50s, he's completely rid of it and moved on and used other ways to stop bad guys. But anyway, to me, the Batman Legacy line could have did some great things, but unfortunately, I think there were more misses than there were hits. So that's my thoughts on the Batman Legacy line.